us where we are right now, the goals that we want. We know where we are. We know where we want to be. How do we get there? Right? That's the problem. We know what we want, like ₱1,000,000, 2, 3, 4, 5 million peso, right? Or let's say to graduate college or to pass a certain exam, to have whatever it is that we want. It's here, and here we are right now. This is very clear. This is where we are. How do we actually get there? How do we actually get there? Assalamu alaikum, my friends. And today we are going to talk about how to get to where we want to be. Or as the title says, why we're not successful. Now, there are things that I would like to clarify before we move on. First of all, I am not perfect. The intention of this clip and this entire channel is for us to help each other. There are things that are said here that might not work for you. It might work for me, or it might work for you. It might not work for me, or it might not work for others. But the whole intention is we would like to help. And at the same time, we will learn from this entire clip. Anyway, success. Let's talk about success first. There are things that are defined as success that for me is really remarkable, or ang galing. Wow, success yun. But it might not be a success for you, right? There are things that are important to me that are not important to you, and there are things that are important to you might not be that important to me. So success is subjective. That's why we use the word to get you to where you want to be. Kung ano man yung goal mo, okay? Let's find a way to get there. Alright? So, yun yung success natin. So, pag sinabi kong success, ibig sabihin, yun yung goal mo. Alright? Let's move on. If you think of the people who are successful, most of them, right? According to the research and reading na ginawa ko and a lot of Facebook scrolling, ito yung napansin ko na common sa kanilang lahat. Think of a successful person. Ito ang meron siya. That person, ito na yung sagot, so you need to write this down. That person is matured enough to do what needs to be done consistently until it becomes a habit. So that is a 3-part answer. Matured enough to do what needs to be done consistently until it becomes a habit. And then you will be successful. Right? You might be thinking of the richest man on earth. You might be thinking of the most famous whatever, or an athlete. If you're thinking of an athlete, that person was matured enough to do what needs to be done consistently until it becomes a habit. Alright, let's break this down. First, matured enough to do what needs to be done. I'm gonna give you another example. Since this is a fitness channel, I would like you to think of a person, right, na reach niya yung kanyang ideal size or ideal weight. I would just like to be politically correct, pero ganito na lang. In Tagalog, isipin mo yung kaibigan mo or yung kamag-anak mo or yung katrabaho mo or kapitbahay mo or friends mo sa Facebook na pumayat na. That person might have a weight issue for the longest time of his life, and then eventually now that person is payat na. Okay, I would like you to think about that person. Me personally, I can maybe name at least 4 or 5 or 6 people that I know na ganun nga. Dating may weight issue, ngayon payat na. Okay, think about them. The first thing that they did, that they were matured enough to do what needs to be done. To do what needs to be done. Unang-una, baka nag-exercise and diet sila, or hindi na sila kumakain ng junk food, or kung kumakain man, very seldom na lang. They got rid of bad habits, or they did something that they were not doing before, right? They did something. They did what needs to be done. They were matured enough to do what needs to be done. And let's say sabihin natin sa'yo, meron kang goal. The question is, are you matured enough to do what needs to be done? Right? Most probably, I can say, most probably the answer is yes. Actually, that's the easiest part. That's the easiest part. I know you are matured enough to do what needs to be done. And if you're asking, what are the things that needs to be done? For example, again, let's go with fat loss. Sa totoo lang, ang daming free information regarding that. So, hindi yun yung mahirap na part. Let's say, gusto mo makapasa sa exam. I know you're matured enough to do what needs to be done, like studying. Okay? Focus muna tayo sa studies. Or let's say, sabihin natin, gusto mo magnegosyo. Focus on the things that needs to be done. There are step-by-step ways in order for you to have a business. Okay? Hindi ka ang unang taong gumawa niyan. So, the information is out there. Yes, matured enough to do what needs to be done. Alright. Next. Okay? Consistently. So, palapit na tayo ng palapit towards success. They were matured enough to do what needs to be done consistently. Paulit-ulit nilang ginagawa. Parang ganito. Kung meron 7 days in a week, kung let's say sasabihin natin na they will exercise, or let's say they will control their eating or improve their sleeping, they would do that, let's say, 6 days a week. Right? Kasi some of us, we would be saying, oh, nag-exercise naman, nag-diet ako eh. But if there are 7 days a week, you only do it like twice. Yeah, clean eating, twice a week. Yeah, exercise twice a week. With that, although you know now what to do, but you're not doing it consistently. That's why these people, they succeed. Right? Because they're doing it consistently. They are the weird people. We're still talking about the people na pumayat na, okay? They are the weird people during parties or during dinners na hindi kakain. Or, pag nakikita nyo sila once a week, ang sasabihin sa'yo na, oh, ngayon lang ako makakain ng rice. This is the only time that I can eat dessert. You would be asking, why? Because I'm on a certain diet, or I am restricting myself from something 6 days a week, and this is the only time that I can have my cheat day. Right? They're doing it they're doing the right things, they're doing the things that they need to do consistently. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Those 4 or 6 people that I know na pumayat, I can say maybe 2 or 3 of them bumalik sa dati nilang figure. Alam ko, may kilala rin kayo. Right? I know you know someone who did the right thing consistently and actually reached their goals or goal, and eventually went back to their previous state. What is that? Those people, they did not make it as a habit. Yes, they matured enough to do what needs to be done. Yes, they did it consistently. But when they reached their goals, they thought, okay, payat na ako. Pwede na akong kumain ng light. I can go back to doing the things that I want. And yeah, they went back to doing the things that they want, and they got their body back. They did not make it as a habit. But the people whom you know, or the people na kilala ko, na hanggang ngayon is continuous pa rin yung progress nila because they made it as a part of their lives. They made it as their habit. Habit na nila yun. Hindi na nila pinipilit yung sarili nila, let's say, mag-diet, or mag-training, or matulog ng tama, or control their stress levels. Hindi na chore para sa kanila yun. Part na talaga yun ng katawan nila. And why is that? Why is that? Write this down also. You are where you are right now is because, the reason why where you are right now is because of your habits. I would like you to think about that. You are where you are right now is because of your habits. You might have a weight issue because maybe you have an eating issue, right? You have a movement issue because most probably you don't move because of your habits. You're just stuck here. So you cannot really expect yourself to move well because your habits made you into where you are right now. So going back to all of those successful people that we know, including the people who are ngayon payat na and still pumapayat pa rin, everything in common about them is that they were matured enough to do what needs to be done consistently until it becomes a habit. Your habit is the reason why where you are right now. I just said that earlier. I think it's redundant, but it's worth repeating. And if you want to change the way you are right now, or is there something that you would like to change, you have to change your habits. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, my friends. Maraming salamat. If you reached this part of the video, maraming salamat. And my intention is to help. And number two, my intention is also to remind myself. And whatever it is that you're going through right now, I do pray that everything gets better.